Hey everyone, happy Friday. Andrew is back. He's made it on time this time. That's brilliant. Hopefully I can hear him because we haven't done a dry run
You were there
before.
thinking you were starting all alone, were you?
Just like last time. But no, Andrew's here this time. And we do have some exciting rounds, don't we, this time, Andrew? I forget what they are. We have RxJS. So if you attended our live stream on Monday, that'll be an easy breezy round for you. What else do we have? Picture round?
Got to have a picture round.
What's the picture round on this week, Andrew?
This week there's I'll say superhero, but they're not necessarily all superhero
Is one of them
related
me?
things. So how
Superhero.
well do you know your superheroes?
There's one right here.
There you go.
Just saying.
So
Just
self-proclaimed.
Cool. Okay. Well, I did start the stream 5 minutes early with a countdown, so give time people to join, start chatting in the chat, and so forth. Um, awesome. Okay. Should we get started? Let me see if I go in. Starting soon. Has everyone joined the link? Let me put a link in the chat as well. So if you want to actually play the game, not use you can still use pen and paper. We will go give out the answers. But if you want to see your score and how you rank with other players and all the rest, just for a bit of fun, join the game. You can now log in with Facebook, Twitter. You can make your own account, and then you can actually play the game. It's all real time. You don't have to click next. We will drive your browser from here with Firebase and Angular.
Although we will have to give a slight warning because obviously as we're talking, there will probably be a delay. So we may say, let's go to the next question, and you might already be on it. And yeah, so Mike, if you think you're flying through time again, yeah,
Make
hopefully
sure
not.
you're watching the video live and not like 30 seconds behind like my course.
That time machine,
Ah,
brilliant
some
thing.
people are chatting already in the chat. Oh, this is where it gets confusing. Right, okay, we need to raise an issue where we turn off the chat when we do it because we want everyone to use the YouTube chat, I think.
No, we don't. We want them using this chat. It's good. We need to understand the bugs and figure out where the problems are. We won't learn anything if we're using YouTube. Turn off the YouTube chat.
So, okay, everyone watching, you need to start joining, and we will start in a couple of minutes. And then when you go to once you've logged in, you'll see Tech Quiz, 5th of June, starting soon. And you click on
Hopefully,
it.
that's the idea.
Okay. Andrew, what new features have you added to the platform this week? I know you've done a few things.
Yeah, but two of them are still very much in progress. So we still, I'm afraid, don't have an end game screen that gives an overall score. It's almost there. Same thing with each round showing which questions you got right or wrong. That's being worked on as well. So there are two things in progress. It's just been lots of things going on at home, so I didn't get those done. But we have added Twitter, so I think there were a couple of people, maybe not last week, but the week before, that wanted Twitter as a login. Twitter, we had to first of all register with them and say we want to be able to use OAuth with you, answer about 1 million questions that they had, and they then enabled it so that we could have an app, and then we had to do a lot of other things to actually get that to work. So Twitter was actually quite a painful social login, even though we're using Firebase. It did most of the work. Just getting Twitter to let us use it was a bit of a pain. And then even just being able to grab the email address that we use to tie everything together, that was being a bit of a pain from Twitter. But that should all be working, so Twitter should work now. If you do want to try it out, please do. And the only other thing that was really done is rather than having to hit save answer every time now, every time you click, it will send that through. There is a slight delay on when it saves. So if you do sit there spamming the button, could be interesting to see what behavior it is because it will only take or store the answer after you've stopped interacting for about a second. It will save that. So yes, you do have an auto save now.
Is that live already on production?
I hope so. We'll find out in
Okay,
a
we'll
moment.
find out. Okay. And we've got me here, Andrew, Lee, Tom, Mike, and Jesus. Good to have you all here. Let Lee, what could go wrong? I think it was
Nothing.
wasn't it last Friday when we were doing the quiz? Andrew said, "Well, I've got that feature. It's ready to deploy. Let's deploy it now." As we're halfway through the quiz, I was like, "Andrew, I know you're confident, but come on, that's just like asking for trouble mid quiz." So
So it's untested the autosave, apart from me having a little bit of a play on my local machine with it
yeah, I didn't
before
support
it.
Andrew at all, so he's done a great job. It's open source, so you can go and have a look at the code as well if you want. Angular and Firebase is the main stuff that we're using. Right, I'm excited. I wanna see if I can beat Andrew again this week. Did I win? Did I beat you last week? I can't remember now. Testing.
No, no, you didn't. Chaos engineering of sorts.
Chaos engineering. Yeah. Let's do it. Let's get started, right? Start game. 5, 4. Okay, the numbers you might see might be ahead because it's fast. Firebase is faster than the live stream itself. So what have we got? General knowledge, anything goes. That's mine. Then you got Andrew's picture around. What's the real name of these superheroes? Give you a clue. One of them's Eddie. That's me. We should have a picture around of like the real names of the villains, and you can put Andrew over there. Boom, clank. Okay. Tech history. Okay, interesting. And then software development, RxJS. That was mine. Okay. Andrew's disappeared, but he's back. I'm excited to get started. Let's do this. I know we ran over last week, so I'm keen to try and do, I think it's about 15 minutes per round.
Yeah, we'll try and be a little bit quicker getting through them. Certainly, when we go back and repeat the questions, it just takes a bit of time, doesn't it?
Okay, this is my question. I started off a bit kind of, let's see, take them with a pinch of salt. Andrew's face says it all. Which language is better? Ruby, Java, PHP, JavaScript, C#. See, I thought of Mike and Lee and Tom. C#'s in there. Perl. That's one for you, Andrew. None of the above. All the pros and cons. So I won't put an answer for this because obviously I know the answers. Religious war. Yeah, I just thought I'd start off with an easy one. Just make sure everyone's awake, right? It's just to kind of energize you, make sure you're awake. Let's get started. Okay. I won't give you too long. I know there's 8 options, but it should be pretty obvious which one it is. JavaScript. I'm joking. Okay, so...
I'd C# crowd today.
Yeah, it's true. We're... Right, okay. I'm going to count down and we're going to hit the next question. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. With a 10-second delay, you probably didn't see that and I've probably already gone to the next question. Right, starting off really easy, don't worry. Like I said, I thought I'd keep it easy. What is FIFO? Flow in, flow out, first in, first out, fun in, fly over, fine in, fine out. It took me a long time to come up with these.
When you get to round 3, they're a bit more serious.
It took me a long time to come up with these. It's really hard to have... Can someone write in the chat, please, what FIFO could possibly stand for and make it make sense? Because I really struggled. I will be interested to know what people could come up with. I tried like friendly, but the second word always happened to be in. I couldn't think of a second word that made sense that began with I. So let me know in the chat. I'll be interested to know what you think. I'm looking at both chats. So I've got the chat on the screen above Andrew's head. I've also got the YouTube chat open as well. So we'll see both. But this is an easy one. This is a serious question. There is a serious answer to this. It's pretty obvious. Let me count it down. Football is for... Oh, yeah, that's true. Okay, that's a good one, Andrew. Football is for... I don't know. Oh.
I thought I'd just say fill the blank there. I didn't want to offend anyone.
I don't know what O could be, though, but right, anyway. Okay. I could think of something, but that's pretty good. Right, let's count it down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Next one. Int can hold decimal numbers. I stole this one from online. I thought I'd get a bit more serious by getting some inspiration from people. This is too simple. Well, let's move on to the next one. If anyone has just joined the live stream, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe. It supports the channel. And there is a link in the chat where you can join the game and you can catch up. Okay, now we're getting more serious. This is one for Andrew. Yeah. I wouldn't know this one, but I think Andrew would because he's a bit of a nerd. Risk is... I'll give you a bit of time for this one. Oh, sorry, Lee. I just saw your question. All possible decimal numbers. Oh, we've got Jose in the chat as well, in the YouTube chat. How you doing, Jose? Don't forget to join the game. We will go over these ones again, so you could potentially squeeze in some answers for the questions that you've missed. Lee, I probably didn't write that question very well, but I know you know the answer, so it's fine. The question isn't a trick question. It's just a simple, straightforward one.
I thought it was something. I was thinking project managers. Where's the project manager answer? Something they're supposed to look after, right?
Which one? The risk.
Yeah, that's their job. Manage risk.
That's true. Okay, I should have put that. That would have been a good curveball. Friendly igloos frame officers. Nice. Okay, I'm liking these ones. Right, let me count it down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're halfway through the first round. What is the odd one out? I'm not going to read them all out. These are too easy. I thought we'd start you all off quite easy, because the RxJS one might be a bit trickier.
Because I'm not going to say they're easy or not until the scores come out. David, good to have you here. David, I always see your profile picture with Bolt next to your name. To see David now is confusing. Good to have you here. I noticed you left some comments on the GitHub repo. I'll check that out afterwards. Right, let me count it down. These are too easy. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Next question. You should have paused for 10 seconds after saying 1.
Yeah, it's true. In Git, how do you update your fork with the original repo? And some of these options sound crazy, but this is what some people actually do.
There's a huge danger here when I hit my answer that I keep thinking there should be a save button still, but the only button is next question because I'm one of the hosts.
Don't click next question.
Yeah, I'm being very careful. Oh, that's the second time now I've almost gone and clicked it. Too used to having the save option there.
I think you did it when we had our call yesterday when we were using the quiz. You clicked next, and I was like, "No!" You went, "I meant to click save."
I'm waiting to see buttons. Horribly wrong at the end of this, where it gives everyone a 0 because it hasn't been saving the answers.
Okay, this is too easy. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 7's coming up. Place your bets. Fast internet for oldies. Lee, I like that one. That's good. FIFO. Oh, I didn't realize I had 3. I'm pretty sure I had 4. I must have messed up. Can you send a payload with a RESTful GET request? True and highly recommended. True but not recommended. False. Okay, I think that's pretty straightforward, pretty easy. Everyone knows the answer to that one.
I don't get this one.
What don't you get? I'm not sure if I get this one. Okay, I wasn't watching that chat. I was watching the YouTube chat. Right, anyway.
Little Freudian slip.
Yeah, well, it's because it's YouTube and it's like a T. Oh, it's been a long week. I should stop talking. Just post an answer. I like that one. Next question. All right, this question is dangerous. Question number 8. What is the difference between authentication and authorization? Nothing. They are the same. Logging in and logging out. Verifying the user and checking they have access. Checking the user and checking the password. We have options. I love the geek banter. It's brilliant. Give you a moment to think about it. Sorry?
So it's one of those you've got to keep your head screwed on for. I can't capitalize things when I talk, though.
Okay, move on to the next one. Too easy. First round kept it so simple. If you all don't get 10 out of 10, then That's good. It means some questions were a bit harder. What is Babel.js? MVC framework, image manipulation library, converts code to older versions, or converts code to newer versions? And these are all things people have actually said to me in the past. So I haven't just kind of made them up. They have come up in conversations. So what do you think?
You didn't put down a fish, though. You didn't say that one of the options could be a space fish.
What's a space fish?
This is the Babel fish, isn't it?
I don't know.
Hitchhiker's Guide.
Oh, I don't remember. I don't know that very well.
Universal translator. Hence it was called this.
Really? Okay, I didn't know that. Wait, let's you select multiple answers. Yes, David, you can select multiple ones, but if you select an additional one and it's wrong, then you don't get any score. Let's ask the .NET guys about JS libraries. Oh yeah, sorry .NET people. I did say you could have a C# round or .NET round, but you didn't step up. Next week we'll have a .NET C# round. We did have a Microsoft round a few weeks ago from Mike. I think it's more general knowledge stuff and a bit of a sales pitch from Microsoft. How much did they pay you, Mike? And we didn't get our cut, by the way. But yes, we'll have some more technical ones in the .NET C# space. I have listened to the Hitchhiker's Guide, like audiobook or something, or watched the movie. I just it didn't stick in my mind so much. Sorry, everyone. Okay, everyone ready with the answers? Let's go to the next one. Last question. It's a bit of a silly one. Who creates bugs?
Here's one of those. I think I know which one I want to give.
There should have been an E option, which is Eddie. But I thought it'd be too easy and obvious. Everyone. Yes, ASP.NET core questions next time. Okay, yeah. So I think, was it Lee was going to submit a round on that sort of stuff? Maybe we should also have people DM us like 1 or 2 questions, and we can use a few of those to mix it up. I know David gave me some ideas today. Right, are you ready? Let's end this round. Let's see the scores. Ending round. We need some music. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know what music would have. Jesus got 10. Andrew got 10. Wowza. That's really good. You should make it that if you have the same score, they're on the same line. So it'd be 1 like Jesus, Andrew. And then
You can do that. How about that?
Yeah, that's true. I don't do any work. So I just make the bugs, remember? Tom, 9. Nice. Mike. You .NET people. I think David joined later as well, so he might have missed the first 4 questions. So actually, you had a potential of getting 10. If you missed 4 questions and you got 6, that the ones you answered, you got right. So that's awesome. Cool. 9 for missing 9, I think. Oh, yes, David's saying he got in late. Yeah, you did, unfortunately. Okay, Andrew, you're round. Are you ready? When you're ready, you'll let you hit next. You can.
Yeah, I'm glad that it looks like people's answers did get saved, so that's good. Okay, so next round we've got some pictures, and I thought I'd try and keep it a little bit simpler. So these are kind of, do you know? I say real names. They're not like the actors' names. It's the kind of, if they were unmasked, what were their names as they wandered around the streets? So let's see how well you know your superheroes. Hopefully a little bit geeky and less code related as well. So yeah, let's see how we do. Oh, yes, these stretch. That's good. I forgot we hadn't fixed the stretch issue. We noticed that last week as well. So who's this? Who is it? Is it Thomas Wayne, Kim Jong-il, Bruce Wayne, or Bruce Banner? I hope you're answering these off screen somewhere, Eddie.
It will highlight it here though, because it's all real time.
I don't think so. I think I've turned off the fact that it would sync if you had 2 screens open now.
Okay,
I kind of am keeping that or dropping it, but I think I've dropped that. So you should better have another window open and answer it there.
Let's test it out. Nice. Yeah, that worked. Cool.
Cool, yeah. If you were to refresh the page, obviously it would pull the answer through, but it's no longer doing a listen, it's just doing a take one.
Nice.
Hopefully that's not one of your questions later. What does take one do? We'll see. Okay. Cool, right. I hope that's enough time. Eddie's managed to open a browser and answer it, and it's not a difficult one, so let's go to the next one.
Let's do it.
Who knows the name of this chap? I don't want to say who it is because hopefully it's obvious enough from the picture, but some of these are taken. I think I've tried to take most of them from the comic books rather than the movie adaptions in general.
Yeah,
Where there may
that makes
be
it
one or
harder.
two. So, but hopefully you can get the idea of who it is based on what they're doing and what they're holding. I don't want to say their hero names as such because it might give too much away. It might trigger some memory.
It's Hercules, right?
Could be.
No, it's Samson.
Could be Poseidon. But that's more fictional. God, shall I say? Greek god.
I'm kind of confused.
Okay.
Okay,
I'll
I've
read the options. I'll
answered.
go to the next question. So the options were A, Alan Alden, B, Arthur Curry, C, Jack Reacher, and D, Paul Norris. Let's go to the next question. Yeah, if you know the DC or Marvel, it's a huge clue, yeah. I don't want to say too much. I'm thinking these should be easy enough without me saying too much.
No,
Okay,
I need all the clues.
So, can you recognize this person? Is this Donna Troy, Princess Leia, Susan Lewis, or Diana Prince?
Where's option E, Andrew Cunliffe? That's what Andrew looks like in Lockdown.
Sort of weekend style, yeah?
Yeah.
We're not quite at the weekend just yet, so. I suppose we are kind of the start of the weekend at the moment. Rather than everyone going out doing whatever it is they do on a normal Friday evening. By all means, tell us what you would be doing right now if you weren't stuck at home. Listening to us, that is, I'm sure you'd be here really.
I would.
Well, I would, because we're still doing this. Well, we're going to try and continue doing this after the whole COVID thing finishes. Well, I think that's enough time. Again, it's a nice, easy one. I think if you know them, you know them. It's one of those. So
If you don't,
let's go
just
to the next
guess.
Mike would be playing poker. You could be playing poker at the same time. In fact, we need to get poker onto here so Mike can play poker on here while we're all trying to guess who the picture is. Right. Because I thought some people might not recognize it just from the comic book picture, and I couldn't find a very good elsewhere. It's still got the title is the name of this guy. So a bit more of a giveaway perhaps because it's probably one of the more difficult ones in this. They were too easy otherwise. So see who knows their superheroes really
I
well.
don't know this, but I give people a clue. It's DC. Because it says it in the corner.
I didn't actually properly check the picture, but I'm hoping it doesn't actually say who it is on the picture. That doesn't look like it.
But which one? The yellow one or the green one?
It would be the yellow one.
Okay, just checking.
Hence his name, Booster Gold.
Or the orange one.
So the options are A, Sam Lee Jones, B, Michael John Carter, C, Rip Hunter, and D, James T. Kirk. Hopefully there's a couple that you can take out that list pretty quickly if you know who they are. Okay. Let's go to the next one.
Let's do it.
Who is this? And for anyone who knows their name, please feel free to drop the name in the chat. Go on. There's two names he actually goes by. Do you know both of the names?
I don't recognise any of these. It's not who I thought it was.
There's only one answer, but Shazam is one of his names. What's his other name?
Oh, I thought it was Flash.
Captain something. He does it as a bit like Flash. The A is Billy Batson. Is it B, Benny Hill, C, Bobby Binder, or D, Rob Heron?
Oh, I don't know.
So it also goes by Captain Marvel, which I didn't realize Shazam and Captain Marvel were the same thing until I put this question in.
What do you mean? But I thought the Superwoman person was called Captain Marvel.
There is, yeah, I think there's the new version of Captain Marvel. That's the woman, isn't there? I believe. But
Okay.
this is where my comics knowledge starts to fall down because I didn't realise that this one was also called Captain Marvel. But maybe it's from a different world. I don't know. Anyhow, cue Benny Hill music. Absolutely.
That's my answer as well, so I'm right. Brilliant. Benny Hill. Okay, that's what I
Next
went for.
question before I change it. Okay, I'm going to go 3. Well, anyone can keep up if I count really slow. 2, 1.
What?
This one. This
I haven't
one
seen
I
this
think
in a movie.
is probably the hardest one because, yeah, it's not in any movies. And I've actually forgotten what his correct name is off the top of my head now as well, which is really bad.
But there's 4 options. Which one do you think it is? A, B, or C, or D? Let me know and I'll choose that one. And don't say E.
Oh, that's right. I know his name.
What's the initials of the person? Give us a clue.
I don't know. I was trying to pick a letter that's in all of them. It's got an I in it.
Does it begin with an I though?
Johnny Bravo. I'll give you a little clue. His name is Hydro Man. I don't know if that's too big a clue or not for some people.
No.
Hopefully not. So A is Ian Malcolm, B Simon Petrikov, C Parker Robbins, or D Morris Bench.
I'm gonna get 0.
Good. The last round seemed far too easy, so I'm hoping this is harder, and then we'll get into something slightly easier in a minute. It does look a bit like a Johnny Bravo, though, so I can see where Jesus is coming from. Okay. Let's see what's on the next question. You know who this is, right, Eddie? You recognise this one?
I think so. Can I say it?
Rides
or
a
spoil
horse.
it?
I think it's probably okay. I think
It's Zorro,
they've
right?
been hard enough. A few of them have been hard enough. Zorro, yeah.
Okay.
So is his actual unmasked name Don Alejandro? Oh, gosh. Don Diego Vega.
We need Jesus to read these out.
Don Aldo Tirump.
Donald Trump.
Don Carlos.
He wishes.
You got that one. I'm glad you got that one. Some people see him this way, though. So,
can you read out them again, please?
No, I don't think I should.
It helps.
Makes it too easy for me.
No, it makes it easier.
Why? Because I can't pronounce some of it.
No. It's just I'm trying to think of the movie, and I'm trying to think when someone says it, who was saying Alejandro, it to who?
Don Alejandro, Don Diego Vega, Don Aldo Tirump, or Don Carlos Pulido.
Oh, some of those names are real from the movie, so it's really hard to know which one is which.
Going straight to the movie knowledge. I think you've had enough time. You need to make a guess and go for it.
Let's do it.
Okay. 3. Again, I feel really bad. There's a delay going on with YouTube. So I'll give the 3 and a bit of a break. Then we can go.
Don't blame poor YouTube.
2, 1. Let's go. Right. You know who this one is?
Catwoman, I'm guessing?
The shadow's even making a little sort of bat symbol there as well, which is quite cool.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I didn't notice that. Yeah. I don't know.
So, the unmasked name, is it Maggie Calabrese? Is it Michelle Pfeiffer? Maybe. Barbara Keane or Selena Kyle?
Oh, I've no idea. These are so hard. That's what.
Let's go with the movie.
Oh, the movie was so long ago, though.
I'm going to be intrigued to see how many people score on this one.
She did make an appearance in one of the Batmans, didn't she? Is the one with Bane? I think she made an appearance.
I think she's in a couple of the Batman films.
Okay.
So obviously, if you watched, was it the Gotham series? She's in that quite heavily. That might be a big clue for people.
Dark Knight Rises. Thanks, Lee. So, Andrew, I have a question for you. When you wear your cat suit on the weekend, does yours make a bat symbol on the side?
I don't know quite what you sort of picture me doing at the weekends, but not quite as exciting as any of that.
Yes, Anne Hathaway. Yes, that's true.
I don't think Eddie reads.
I
To be fair, I don't.
only guess by choosing names that seem wrong. It's probably the best way. I choose the ones that by process of elimination, but I probably pick the wrong ones, which are probably the right ones. You do know they also appear in comic books, not just films, right? But comic books, I suppose comic books are pretty good because they don't have many words in them. Books, yeah, just don't even bother. But films are easier. You just watch it. It's like someone reading the comic book to you. Even better.
You turn up, bring popcorn, and sit back.
Exactly.
Eddie is gluten-free popcorn, obviously. Okay, let's go to the next one.
Oh, I did select. I'm okay. I'm good. Oh wow, this is a hard one. It's the penultimate one for this round, but it's pretty hard.
Yeah. I think I tried to go half of them being sort of known heroes that most people would know, probably from films and so forth. This one is actually in the second Ant-Man. It's actually part of the movie title, even if you remember the movie title, Eddie.
No, I don't. Really?
Yeah, I did try to go for some that have been in films and some that haven't to try and mix it up a little bit.
Okay, I'm taking a guess. Option E.
Janet Van Dyne, Rachel Weisz, Erin Hart, or Janet Pym?
Oh, I don't know. Can I phone a friend?
No.
Can I get 50-50?
Feature's not there yet.
What's the other third option? Phone a friend. Oh, ask the audience. Can I ask the audience?
Well, there is an audience. It's whether or not they're willing to help you. Okay. You got an answer?
I have. It's probably the wrong one.
Good. Let's go for it then. What's next? I can't remember what the last one was. Ah, yes. Everyone's favourite hero here. Finish on a nice, easy one.
I think I know this one. I think.
Different kind of hero. This is just to bring it back to people not feeling so bad if they'd had struggled on some of the previous ones.
It should be option E, Oscar Cunliffe.
He does go around a little bit like that.
Well, I don't recognize his quotes. I don't watch the show, but I've seen some clips.
Yeah, if it's not been made into a movie yet, you haven't watched it.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure Family Guy's not made it to a movie. Someone's going to now shout out, no, there is a movie. Oh, Mike hasn't seen it either. Fair enough. Maybe you can make a guess. What
Mike's
would you
probably read the comics.
Were there comics for Family Guy? I don't know.
That was a joke.
Most of these things do start out that way, don't they? I'm pretty sure there's no comic for Family Guy. Pretty sure it's all come out of Seth's brain.
What's my score? If I have more than 6, I'll be so happy. 6 or more. Okay. Come on. 6 or more.
Let's bring the scores up. Okay, I'm just giving a slight pause. Let's bring the scores up.
Let's do it. I got 3!
Eddie.
Mother!
Top of the list. Well done.
Hey, Zeus. Wow, that's really good.
They do smashed it, yeah.
And on the last round as well. I think he was top as well. So, wow. Mike, you got 5. I don't know. I thought you read comic books. I got the lowest. 3. Should we go round?
Which one?
Which one's that? I don't know. Batman. The baby one at the end.
And then something in the middle. So you're good. You've got either end.
That's what she said. Boom, clank.
It's a family safe show, Eddie.
Oh, yeah, it's true. 3. Okay.
I suppose I need to reset us back to the beginning so we can give the answers, do we?
I don't want to see the answers, but yeah, go on. I'm sure everyone wants to see the answers. Then we can go on to the software engineering rounds. My RxJS round is last, I think. Save the best till last. Or it's not RxJS, so it's RX. I keep saying JS. I have called the round RxJS, which is really stupid because it's just RX in any language. So the .NET people will also feel welcome.
Cool. Well, obviously, don't go fiddling with your answers. Whilst you could, it's best not. But go on. Do you want me to read out my answers, things I got them right, and you can do your answers for the next round?
Sure. Okay, go on.
So I went with H for this one. All got their pros and cons.
Exactly.
It's that age-old argument of which one's better. So there's no way you could ever claim that one's better than the other. Not truly. You can do it for fun, but yeah. So H, all pros and cons. Next up was first in, first out.
Yep.
So one of the first things I think I learned at university when I was getting into coding there. Sort of talking about arrays, right? Generally. An int can hold decimal numbers. No, it can't. Not unless you've done something very weird or you've got using a bizarre language, maybe. But
or converted it to a string. Or
pretty much every language, I'm sure, doesn't. You need to be a float or something else. Risk is obviously something that managers manage. It's not for us to worry about. But it's also CPU design strategy. So,
I did not know this, by the way. David, does this have a right answer for the question one? Yeah, true.
The next one, the odd one out, is query. The rest of all REST operations. Or I suppose not necessarily REST. I suppose you could say HTTP operations. Next question. In Git, how do you update a fork? You should add a remote. So yeah, an upstream remote. I mean, you could refork the project. I've heard plenty of people that do that.
They do that. Yeah, that's crazy. I've seen people copy and paste the changes. I don't know how that works because then you've now got more changes. I don't know. I've seen people try to do patches and all sorts of weird stuff. They just make it more complicated than it needs to be because they're trying to do what they find on Stack Overflow, which is like 10 years out of date by someone who didn't know what they were doing. Yeah, so I've got a video coming out on this actually probably tonight or tomorrow. It's like literally like a 2-minute video just to add a remote.
Oh, that's why you put this question in.
Yes, exactly.
It's a promotional opportunity. Cool. Sure, we'll all watch it first thing in the morning when we wake up.
You've got to stay up until it's ready, which might be in a week's time. So you can't sleep until it's watched.
Can you send a payload to a RESTful GET? Well, there's a thing from Lee there quickly, which I'll answer. When you fork a project, you're basically making a copy of the project against your own account. So then when you clone it, you're cloning it from your own account. As such, the remote will be set for your own account. So if you need to update from the original, you need to add that remote because it won't automatically know where the original was. So no, it doesn't have the remote for the original project, only for your project that you forked. So you can still push and pull from that. Yeah, cool, got it.
So
awesome.
So then you, I won't go into it. You'll see the video on my YouTube channel, and it got some examples, and I walk through it.
I hope you've got some decent diagrams as well.
I wanted to do some diagrams, and I was going to use my whiteboard on the side, but I didn't bother in the end. I was lazy.
You've already clicked the answer, but yeah, B was true but not recommended. So yeah, there's a number of APIs I've integrated with that on a GET request, their documentation says, "Oh, and send this stuff in the body." The number of times that winds me up and just makes me not want to use that API. But then you're stuck with it because the client or someone has said, "No, this is the API we're using." It's just like, it goes against all the correct standards for doing stuff. But to a degree, it's the fault of the HTTP protocol, I suppose, that it doesn't block you from sending the stuff because it's a valid feature of the HTTP is to have a body. But yeah, try not to do it. Don't build an API that does it, please. Okay, next. Difference between authentication and authorization. Authentication is checking your credentials are correct, so it's kind of doing D. And authorization is saying, are you actually allowed to do what you want to do? So it's checking the permissions on your account. So have you got access? So the answer is C, verifying the user and checking they have access. Are the two different ones? It's not they do both. The difference between them is one verifies the user, the other checks they have access. Okay, next up, what's Babel.js? Already mentioned the Babel fish. So Babel fish was a little sort of fish thing. You put it in your ear and it translates stuff for you. So instantly, if you're thinking Babel fish and Hitchhiker's Guide, that should take you to C and D. It's just which direction. And typically, it would convert stuff to older versions. But I'm sure, seen that you can get plugins for Babel that will actually take old code and try to transcode it into new ways of doing things. I doubt it does a very good job of it, but yeah. So I think there are some plugins you can get that will do it D, but by default, yeah, C. It transpiles your code into an older version that's appropriate for browsers. And finally, who creates bugs? Generally, I would say it's the project manager is the one that's instigating the bugs, mostly because of their inept way of wanting you to get things done. The computer is probably just misinterpreting the code you've written, so you could quite easily blame the computer for misinterpreting your code. Equally, many users, they call them bugs, but they're just features.
Yeah, the error is between, like, what's the expression, between the keyboard and the seat or something.
Yeah. And and then C is the correct answer. Formally, is the developer that wrote the code will have been the one that created the bug as such. But yeah, very much susceptible to the other one.
It was a bit of a silly question. I don't know why I put it in. I thought it was funny at the time. Looking back now, looking back, which is probably about an hour ago, not so funny anymore. So apologies for anyone who got this one wrong. You're all winners.
Okay, let's see who changed their answers because I have to hit end round and it's going to recalculate.
I got 10. I got 10 out of 10. Yay.
Cool. And the next round. Go on, Eddie. What are the answers?
Oh my God, these are so bad.
Who is this guy?
This one's Bruce Wayne, right?
It is Bruce Wayne.
Okay, good.
I'm sure a few people thought it was Kim Jong-il, though.
I don't even know who that is. Is that the Korean dictator person?
Yeah.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Thomas Wayne was the dad that was murdered.
And Bruce
I thought I'd put that in.
Oh, sorry, go on.
Yeah, Bruce Banner's just starts with Bruce.
That did trick me for a second. I had to read them out loud to myself.
Yeah. If you got this one wrong, then you probably shouldn't have answered any of the further questions through this. Right, the next one. This is Aquaman. Oh God, sorry, Eddie. You got
Aquaman. I got that, and I thought I just guessed Arthur Curry because I remember in the movie, so I mentioned a name something Curry. I don't know, just a real guess.
Yeah, so Arthur Curry is correct.
I knew it wasn't Jack Reacher. That's the only one I recognised.
I don't think I actually clicked the first one to give my answer to check I get 10 on this, but never mind. If I get 9, it's because I didn't click the Batman answer. Who's this one?
I knew it wasn't Princess Leia.
Or 3 because you got 3 of them right so far. So I may have put something down wrong. But yeah, it is Diana Prince is correct. Yeah,
I know that from the movie. I watched it recently.
Okay.
I know it's not James T. Kirk, and that's all I didn't knew it wasn't.
Yeah, so you were close. It was B. Michael John Carter.
That was my first guess, but then there was a movie called John Carter or something. I don't know if Michael was like part of the name, so I thought maybe I'd just choose a different one.
Yeah, I did think that when I saw this one, which is why I put it in there, because I thought that would throw people.
And Rip Hunter just seems silly.
Yeah. So Shazam is Billy Batson. A.
My second guess was D, so now I wouldn't have got that one.
Okay, next one. This chap is Morris Bench.
I've obviously got every question till the end now wrong.
You must have done because you had the first 3. So you had a good start. And I was a little bit naughty, so it should be Don Diego de la Vega, but the Della is sort of optional. It was not. You don't have to. They added Della
Oh,
later.
that's not fair. Because I would have got that. Yes, thank you,
Yeah,
Jesus. I get a point for that. I'm changing it. No one else changed their answers, but I'm changing it.
done on purpose because his original name was Don Diego Vega,
Yeah,
and then
but
they
no one
added
knew
Della.
him. No one knew him then. He wasn't famous. It's what happens afterwards, right? Does anybody know Muhammad Ali's real name? Exactly, no.
Made it too obvious, I thought, leaving the Della in there. But yeah, for those that went for Donald Trump, well done. He'll be happy.
I knew it wasn't A because he was the bad guy, wasn't he?
Was he a bad guy? I thought he was more of a teacher.
Oh, was he the? Was he the? I can't think of the actor's name, but was he the teacher one? Okay, I wasn't sure. I couldn't remember if it was the bad guy or the teacher, but it was one of the older characters. Cassius Clay. Yes, you're both right. But most people don't know that. Float like a
Okay.
butterfly, sting like a bee, and scratch like a cat. It wasn't Michelle Pfeiffer. I knew that. And the other three
No.
was just a guess. I guessed wrong, obviously.
Yeah. You guessed wrong. You needed to go one more. So it was Selena Kyle.
That was my second guess. Or joint first. I did A didn't seem right. It was
Well,
a C or D.
again, I was being a little bit naughty here because there are parts in the comics where it's Selena Calabrese and other places where it's Selena Kyle that she gets named as. So I went with Selena Kyle as the correct answer, but Maggie was actually the name of Selena's sister. So I wasn't sure if we might throw anyone off or not. So I put that in there. But Barbara Keane, I think, was another one that's it's a DC Gotham City for those that watch Gotham. I think Barbara Keane was quite big in Gotham, so I thought that might also play on people's minds a bit if I threw that one in there. Okay, next from Ant-Man and the Wasp. This one could throw a few people because I've got a feeling some people may have said Janet Pym, maybe, but it's actually Janet Van Dyne is the correct one from the
That
comics.
was my second one. I felt it was Janet, but I knew it wasn't Rachel Weisz.
Yeah. But yeah, Pym Particles, obviously, yeah. But Janet Van Dyne is the correct name. Feel free to go check it up and shout at me if it would be Janet Pym. But
Well, Lee's saying the dad's Hank Pym, so therefore it must be Janet Pym.
yeah,
Where'd she get the van from?
yeah, so Janet was the wife. And you also got, I thought the daughter was young with an H. I want to say Holly, but that doesn't sound right. Hope. That's right.
Hope.
Daughter was Hope.
Yes, that's
Who
the
then,
one.
in the movie, I think, became the Wasp, having taken over from the mum. Okay. And then
I
the
must
last
have got
one.
this one right.
How did you get that wrong?
Is that wrong?
You don't watch it, I guess. Brian's the dog.
Oh.
Stewie. It's Stewie Griffin.
Oh, it's Stewie. Yes. Now you say it, it's obvious. Oh, in fairness, I think I should get that one right, just because, I now know it. No, I knew it already. I got 5. Way I went up from 3.
Poor Tom. You made Tom feel bad now because you've dropped ahead of him.
It's okay. He's a .NET developer. It doesn't count. Sorry, Tom.
Okay. Next round. I've spoken far too much recently. You should read these off, even though I wrote them.
This is your round.
Okay, then.
I'll answer
Go on.
page.
How are we doing for time? Okay, we'll try and move
we
reasonably
pick it
quick.
up. Yeah, we do.
Tom's going to submit a pull request, I think. Yeah, wow, Tom, I can't believe that Eddie's done that to you.
Yeah, right. We're still friends, right?
Question 1 for this round. Who gave the first public demonstration of radio? So these are all quite serious questions. I think most of the answers I put down are fairly serious answers as well. So this was a no joking around. We've had enough fun up until this point. Let's get a serious round in so people can feel good about themselves. So is it? I'm not going to read the names, actually.
No, don't read the names. We're going to go a bit faster.
Let's speed it up a little bit. So we're going to try and go through these probably, 15, 20 seconds a question. So try and be
Exactly.
fairly quick about picking your answer if you can. And we will move through them fairly quick. I
Tom,
think
your
everyone
admin access is granted. Oh, sorry, Andrew.
I think everyone that's playing is playing on here, right? They're not playing along too much on YouTube. Everyone's joined up on here, pretty much.
I think so. Okay, go do it. Next question. I'm ready. I've chosen mine.
Okay, when Motorola's Martin Cooper made the first call from a handheld mobile phone in 1973, who did he call?
Ghostbusters.
I should have put that down as a joke one, but
Ghostbusters. I might actually watch that
I
again.
think I was running short on time, so I tried to keep them all a bit serious rather than thinking out the box. His wife is boss. New York Times.
I think I know this one. I'm like 90% sure that I think I might be right. Sometimes.
A and B are the same thing, right? Okay, let's go to the next. That was enough time, right? You did answer.
I did, yes.
I'm assuming everyone else has. If Eddie's given an answer, I'm assuming everyone else will have done.
We were trying to say I'm the slowest.
I never said that. You said that.
It was implied. I don't like your tone. It's not what you said, it's how you said it and the tone.
Oh dear. You know, I think you're very quick at getting things done. That's why you always give the shortest amount of points whenever we point something. You're always like, that's a one pointer.
Yeah, but I've added 0 later on afterwards, at the end.
Yeah. What act of nature is credited with helping to create the first computerized bulletin board? So a first online forum of sorts.
Can I ask, where people are thinking, can I ask a serious question? What's the difference between a hurricane and a tornado? Is the one of them spins around, right?
Yeah, a hurricane is like a massive whirling vortex of wind and rain. A tornado is a teeny tiny, well, not necessarily teeny tiny, but a much more focused torrent of wind and rain.
Right.
Okay, I suppose a tornado without rain, though, because you get a tornado with just wind, I guess.
So is it the same principle that they spin around like you see in the movies? They go like Twister, right?
You still have an eye as such of it. A hurricane is generally a much bigger scale. As such, you don't get the really focused. You still get like 100-mile-an-hour winds or whatever. I can't remember what a Category 1 hurricane needs. I think it's about 70 miles an hour or something for wind.
Good time to fly.
Anyway, yeah, it could be that the speed of the wind moves at is perhaps signifies some of the difference there. Yes, you can see a hurricane from space. That's true.
Oh wow, okay. I might watch that movie. Oh, like Sharknado with just spat on my screens because that's really funny. Like Sharknado without the sharks. Jesus, that has made my day. That is the best. I think there are like 8 Sharknadoes and I haven't watched any of them. But I might watch one tonight actually. Thank you for the movie tip.
I think I've watched bits of a couple of them. Yeah. Okay, next up. In 1980, Apple declared there would be no more of these items inside its buildings and on grounds. So no more Windows. That's pretty obvious, competitor and all. Typewriters, oranges, or Gates.
When you say Gates, you don't mean like Bill Gates.
No. Yeah. Thinking about all the kind of the rivalry between Apple and Microsoft, could it have been related?
Oh, that's a hard one.
But bear in mind, they're a tech company.
Okay, I've guessed.
Okay. You've guessed. That means everyone else has guessed, so that's good. I think everyone's quiet. They've got the seriousness of this. 0.25, score of 2.5.
True.
Yeah, I think they've all got 4 options on this run. I haven't done any like Eddie actually did a couple with 8 or 2, didn't he? I've
I did.
kept it all to 4 on mine. Just shows I've been too busy trying to get code written, and I was working up until 6 o'clock. I can get a feature in that will give us at least which questions did you get right or wrong through the round, or maybe a final score. And I got neither done, so I thought I better get the questions in quick. Can't fail on all 3 fronts, but next week hopefully we'll have the other 2 sorted. Mostly because I want to also move on to doing some other games and building some other stuff up that people can play around with. Cool. Next question. Go. Albert Einstein was named the winner of the 1921 Nobel Prize in Physics for his services to theoretical physics and especially for his discovery of the law of the photoelectric effect. That's a short question, right? But which year was that?
But you said the year already. I've answered.
The year already.
Yeah, it says in 1921.
Okay.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I get this one right.
I need to move to this quickly before everyone cottons onto what Eddie's saying. You're right. I didn't quite think this through enough today. Here we go. Next question. Okay. First ever spacewalk was made by cosmonaut Alexei Leonov in 1965. But how long did he go outside the space shuttle for? How long was he walking for? There's apps based on the recent space launch, which I'm sure everyone watched. My wife even had us outside the house at whatever time it was, like 10 o'clock or something, watching the little dot race across the sky. Although it was funny because our neighbours saw the ISS. They were stood next to us and they were going, there it is. You can see it really bright going across. They were telling their kids and taking photos of it. And we're like, but on the app, it says that's the ISS going that way. And on the news also, it said it was going to come from left to right, not right to left. So is it really? We think it's the ISS. They then buggered off inside once the ISS disappeared. And about 30 seconds later, there was the other dot that came across the sky. I think they felt bad.
ISS, isn't that like? Because I remember going to Barcelona. I remember going to Barcelona for the spring conference, Java Spring Conference. Yes, Java. I know all you .NET people get upset. And there was a framework there which was called ISS, and everyone was going, because it was part of some terrorist group at the time or something. So they actually after having that name for like 6 years, they rebranded to a different name, and now they've got a space station thingy named after it as well. I don't know.
Anyway,
I'll give people a clue to this one. If it's quite hard, the clue I'm going to give is how long he could hold his breath for.
Pretty good at holding his breath. Not even sure the people that dive, sort of free dive, can hold their breath that long.
Some can hold it longer, but they don't win.
Yeah, maybe that's the trick. Okay, let's go to the next one. Been on the popular one.
Okay, let's do it.
I trust you put your answer in.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I stuck on space a little bit more, did I? Okay. US space program for a long time. I sort of starting to think tech history. It is tech. It's all tech, right? Getting into space. Space projects after Roman gods and goddesses. What was the first project that was named after a god or goddess? So Diana, Mercury, Apollo, or Athena?
While people are thinking about that, I've got a question for them. Did the first shuttle to go to the moon use C#, Java, or JavaScript, or none of the above?
Well, I'm sure there was some programming on there.
There definitely was.
It certainly wasn't just switches and lights.
It definitely was. I've seen Hidden Figures. What language do they use? Write it in the chat. I think it was JavaScript, but not the latest version. I think the version a couple of versions back. Node, not like Node 12, whatever. It might have been Node like 6. Fortran. Okay. I don't know the answer, by the way.
Cobalt.
I think it's older than Fortran, even older than that.
beyond.
JavaScript using punch card. Oh, nice. Chromium. Cool.
Awesome.
Wasn't Edge or IE. 22 minutes and 22 seconds.
It's not bad going.
That's crazy. With 100% test coverage and Google tests. IE6, right? They didn't want to upgrade from XP.
But they're using Cypress as well. I would have thought that even then they should be saying, well, 100% is not enough. We need more. 200%.
200%, definitely. Okay, Andrew,
Okay, let's go to the next.
Let's go. I'm ready.
What year did Microsoft ship Windows 1?
Ooh.
That's not 3.1, that's Windows 1.
All the .NET people will get this one.
Yeah, I thought I'd better do a little bit of shouting out towards the .NET crew. They must know when this was.
Mission
83,
5.
or 85, or 86.
I saw
Okay.
something. I can't remember which programming language it was. It's probably like JavaScript, but on Twitter yesterday, where it said, if you do something, I can't remember what the function was, but if you do something, it equals not a number. So it was like, I don't know, value of 0 or something. I can't remember, something really obvious, but the result was not a number. And then when you did the same function on not a number, you got 0, which is what you started off with. It was really bizarre. I would never have guessed that would happen, but it's quite funny. Okay, I've guessed.
Okay, next up.
These are wordy, Andrew. I told you I can't read.
Go from Windows across to Apple, or Microsoft to Apple. It was founded by 3 people: Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak, Ronald Wayne. Wayne sold his stuff back to Jobs, as I'm sure most people that know about Apple know. He did that in 1977. But how much did he sell his share of the company for? 500, 800, 1,300, or 2,000?
Either way, he was a bit silly. He should have held on to those for another 10 years.
As everyone has said, but at the end of the day, I guess when you do something like that, you can't sit there looking back. If you don't believe in something, you're not willing to stick it out.
Okay, I've guessed. I should know this, but I don't.
Well, you must have watched the movie.
What movie?
Was it called Jobs? It was just called Jobs, right? The movie.
Did I not see it?
You must
I
have
haven't
seen the
seen
movie
it.
about.
No, I haven't. Okay, I'll watch that tonight.
There's a couple. I think there's a couple of that are all about the sort of the history of Apple.
But there was
that sort
one.
of follows Steve.
There was the recent one with the guy that was dating Debbie Moore or something, like an older woman. I can't think of his name. I don't know. He's got some weird name, like I can't say it.
Oh,
Aston Kutcher or
yeah,
something.
yeah. I think he's in a few other TV shows and stuff, isn't he? Okay, next one. But
Lee
no, it wasn't
says-
the one with him. The one with the other chap in was the one I was thinking of.
Oh, okay. I'll have to check it out afterwards.
10. Intel was founded 1968 by pioneers, slightly like dog. But what did they originally call the company?
Oh.
Oh, indeed. What did they originally call Intel?
I've got to get more than 2.5 on this round. Come on. No, I need to do better than that. I need to be more double the odds, more than 5.
Okay, you must have picked your answer by now.
I have.
Good. Nice, easy one, right? I'm just, as I go through these, I'm thinking I can't remember what the answers were. Oh well. Hopefully I will. Okay, must be your round. Let me hand the baton over. I've spoken enough for the last 20 minutes. People must be bored of hearing from me.
Is Gordon Moore the Moore of Moore's Law, or is it just a coincidence? Oh, I don't know.
I think it's just a coincidence, but that's a really good question because I don't know.
Did you end the round, Andrew?
I'm going to hit it now. Okay.
Oh, Mike says same guy. Interesting.
I feel really bad now. I feel bad.
Andrew, that was a really hard round. Maybe combined, we could have all got half the scores between us.
I was going to say, I wonder if between everyone, the right answers did get there all the way through or not.
My round is going to seem so easy now.
Good. I thought I'd warm them up for you.
Okay, let's do it. It's RX. Forget the JS. And if you joined our live stream, this should be pretty straightforward.
Oh, answering these. Answer. Here we go. Okay. So library 4. Go on, you read them out. I'm going to give my answers.
RX. Okay, I'll say RxJS is a library for taking over the world, obviously. Consistent styling on the front end and back end. Composing asynchronous event-based programs by using observable sequences. Bridging the gap between React, Angular, and Vue. And .NET. We got to leave .NET in there as well. It'll include most of the audience. That's an easy one. Easy peasy.
Definitely A.
Exactly. Now if .NET was listed there, that's for taking over the world. Okay, we're going to go quickly through these. They're too easy, so let's go quickly through them. I'm going to move on to the next question. Place your bets. It is if you know what RX is. Yeah, but true. But I think by process of elimination, because there is RX.net, I think, or something. Someone said RX C#. There was something. I'm sure someone said that. There's RX
There's a lot
in
of
most languages.
Most languages now, yeah.
And they all, because I actually think the JavaScript RxJS was ported from C#. If I remember correctly reading that. Which I was a bit upset about, obviously. I didn't tell anyone that.
So you didn't put that question in then?
No. I think it was in the live stream, though, in the presentation that we did on Monday. Just called reactive extensions. Got you. What is the main design pattern behind RX? So I removed the JS in some places. Observer, adapter, factory, and frequent flyer. So easy. Going to move forward. It was a clue in the previous question. That's how easy it is. Strategy. Strategy is always good. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One of the superpowers of RX, I'm going to put a JS, of RX, is it can produce values using functions. So what's the missing word?
Okay, I think I know.
Pure, hot, cold, reusable.
Can you explain it?
Strategy is an in-joke between Tom, me, and Shane. All right then, Lee. No need to try to exclude us out. We're trying to be inclusive here. It was the only thing I did for about 6 months, so there was hundreds of strategies all over the place. Yeah, but that's normal. Everyone does that. When people learn a new design pattern, they just use the same thing over and over. I remember going to one project and everything was a factory, literally everything. And then once I learned the adapter, every factory created an adapter. I was just, wrappers after wrappers. So
design patterns does go a bit crazy sometimes. People go, oh, this is cool. We've got to use design patterns everywhere. We can only speak in design patterns.
It is good to use them, but I think when it makes sense, and a lot of the frameworks do a lot of the heavy lifting for you. But when people try and wrap things, you're right. Okay, I want to get this object, so let's create a factory, but I wanted to make it interchangeable, so do an adapter. But the factories are interchangeable anyway, right? In certain places. So anyway, okay, because it needs to have an interface before it knows what object to create. Okay, anyway, moving on. This is actually a tricky question. It's a little bit tricky. I think 50-50 you get for free on this one. Moving on. Place your answers. 5, 4, 3, A, S, M, R, 1. Which of these are not RX operators? Bouncy, scan, map, and tap. This one's easy, right, everyone? Oh, I thought the operators were the same across all. Let me pull up on a different screen. .NET, RX.NET. Reactive extensions. Let's see what operators they have. I'm pretty sure they were always the same because some of the documentation refers. Yeah, they look the same. I don't think they're JS based. Oh, okay. C# uses a lot of the link names. Oh, C# always has to be different. Right, let's move on before Andrew tries to Google it. So, place your bets. Let's go. Next. This is a JS version. RxJS can be used on the front end only. True or false? I'm not going to give you very long for this question. Okay, moving on. Another superpower of Rx are subjects. These allow reusability, retries, multicasting, error handling. This
Not
should be
someone to
named
blame.
the same. Sorry?
Subjects are things to blame on them.
Hopefully this is the same though as the .NET C# world. Hopefully they haven't ruined everything. Just saying. Although I hear Link's pretty good. Actually, isn't Link? Remind me what Link is. Is that what Java stole and you changed and renamed it to something, and it did a terrible job of it? I can't remember what it's called. I'm pretty sure it's Link.
Have any of your answers got multiple choices to answer?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right, I'll stick with that. I think it's right.
Okay, and everyone, can you do me a favor before we move on to the next question? Let me know whose audio is better, mine or Andrew's. I haven't asked this in a while, and I've tweaked my audio ever so slightly. And obviously, I've got my mic that I'm very proud of. The one that it's very similar to.
You did reboot the computer 6 times first, right?
Yeah, that's Windows for you. Not the hardware of the mic. That works fine. This is the mic that Michael Jackson used to record Thriller, apparently. So I'm quite proud of this. It is meant to be for like singing and stuff. Obviously, I don't sing. But let me know what you think of my audio versus Andrew's. Hopefully mine is better. Even just a little bit.
Just reminded me, we were going to try and get it so that we can have a music round for next week. And if we fail to get that working, you will be singing.
No chance. My collection where take. Yes, that's what linked list is. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, Java did do a similar one. I don't know what they called it, but they did a terrible job. Obviously, your mic is amazing, Eddie. We can't even hear Andrew. That's because he's on mute all the time. No, honestly, seriously, if Andrew's is better, then do say. Like, it's obviously a personal preference, but let me know honestly what you think. Like, if you were to rate them out of 10, like to I don't know, a radio person or someone you listen to a podcast or something, just how would you rate that person? Rate me and rate Andrew. Honestly, I won't be offended, and I will defriend you and block you and ban you from the quiz. Right, we're moving on.
While you're thinking about it, see if you can hear as Eddie's talking, as he kind of smacks his lips around a bit as well. You can hear that guy.
Because I need to drink. Wait a second. Let me get a drink. 1 sec. Lucozade.
I am using Eddie's old mic. Well, same type, but not his actual one.
You probably have an old mic lying around Eddie can give to Andrew. Yeah, it's the same mic though. So you can have two, get like stereo left and right. Are you getting into ASMR? No, I'm trying not to. Hopefully you don't hear the kisses that I blow to people that Andrew talks about. Which library framework uses RxJS out of the box? Vue, Angular, React, or jQuery? I'll be quite quick on this one. Clock's ticking away.
Your questions, I don't know.
So I could make it an easy
Single
one before the end.
Okay. It gets harder, does it? That's good.
Okay, going to move on. What is the maximum amount of operators allowed in a chain? I should say in a pipe chain, but yeah, in a chain. 8 answers. You should better remove 1 quite quickly, if not 2.
Maybe. I mean, it wouldn't make sense for it to be an odd number, so I think I can take the odd number out.
I put that in as a bit of a trick question. That's something you would do. I kind of put my hat on and try to be Andrew for a moment. Okay, this is too easy. Come on, let's move on to the next one. It's not that easy. It's easy when you know how. Yeah, ignoring, I suppose, memory limits and all the rest. Let's assume you're running it on not on a Windows machine where you lose 95% of the memory and stuff to Windows itself. Let's assume you're running it on Linux, and it takes like, I don't know, 5K of memory for Linux, and then you've got the rest of it for your application.
Just assume you're running on Amazon with an unlimited scalability.
Actually, wait a second. Let's assume you're running it on Azure with unlimited scalability. I am liking Azure now. Don't tell anyone though. It'll be our secret. Windows digs too. I made a positive one about Azure. Come on. I do freaking hate Windows. I don't want to
I
sound
didn't
like...
write the Windows command. I thought they added that recently.
What command?
Dig.
Oh, dig. Backspat. Tom, I can only dish it. I can't take it. Don't be mean. Where's that ban button? Can I right click on Tom's name? Right click. Ban. Where is it? Inspect. Save image. Open. In a ban option. Timeout. That's the one. Timeout. Okay, moving on. What is not a valid error handling operator? Retry now, retry when, retry, and catch error. This might be a bit difficult. I don't think it is the same for across all of the different languages.
There are multiple choices on this one,
right? Which is not an error handling operator, so it's just single. Well, you can put multiples if you want. Actually, can't remember.
Okay.
Okay, this is the penultimate question. I'm going to go on to the last question, and then we have 12 minutes to go through the answers. Which sounds like a long time, but it's not. Okay. When creating a custom operator, what are the required function implementations? I don't know if this is the same on .NET either. I was hoping it was, but now I have my doubts.
Differently, I'd have thought, but I think it's one of those you have to guess.
I won't leave it too long.
Okay.
There are more than one answers. I'm not going to say how many. But interesting why you say 3, but why you think 3, not 2. Just curious to know. Answer it after people answer the question. I don't want to give too many clues away.
Yeah, I think there's a couple in this lot that I'm not sure about, but I think it's been an okay round. I think hopefully I've not done myself too badly on it.
It's been an amazing round, and hopefully you've done okay, I think is what you meant to say.
Everyone that hasn't used RxJS doesn't score better than me.
Okay, I'm going to end it. Is everyone ready? Place your answers. I was trying to do the countdown sound, but I can't remember how that goes. End.
Go on. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Oh wow, everyone did quite well, apart from Mike.
One.
It's because he's too busy playing poker at the same time. Really good. I think that round was just too easy for everybody.
Yeah, that wasn't bad. Yeah, it wasn't bad.
That's
Some
really
good scores.
good.
Some very good scores. I think any round you get 7 or more on is good, right?
I thought 6 or 5 really, because if the percentage is 2.5 by sheer luck, then if you double that,
Sure.
then that's a bit of a kind of an effort made. Anything above 5, I think, is pretty good. I'll say 6. Going to be a bit more difficult. So we'll say 5 because Mike got 5. So, but seriously, I got 3 on the other 2 rounds. I think 4 and a 3. I can't remember. Right. Okay. Andrew, do you want to reset back to?
Oh yeah,
round
we'll get back to the
3?
right. Yeah,
Haven't
hang
done
on.
web development in years. And Mike, you're missing out. Web is the best. You get to code for like IE6, Edge. I don't know, 1 that's no better than IE6. All the Microsoft browsers.
Bear with me as I get us there. We're almost there. Change round. Hopefully that's it. Tech
Cool.
history. Oh, okay. Right. Here we go. I've got to try and remember these now. I know I made these. Well, several of these I ended up copying as well. I think I only made about 4 of these. So let's see how we do. Right. First one, I'm pretty sure the correct answer would be B, Nikola Tesla, which is going to throw people off, I'm sure, because it was Marconi who created the radio, but Tesla that gave the first demonstration of it.
Oh, I thought D because it had Hertz in the name. I was like, kind of, sounds a bit.
Well, yeah. Okay, next one. I should go reasonably quickly through these, shouldn't I? He called his rival. Yeah, Eddie got that one.
Yes, I thought that was the case.
Yeah. Sure, he got into trouble with both A and B because of it. The next one, it was due to a blizzard, believe it or not.
Oh.
Yeah. Caught people by surprise. I can't remember what year, but quite a while ago. But yeah, B, a blizzard. Well, again, it's one of those I have tried to check every answer as far as what the internet would say as well, from what I could do, but obviously, yeah, there are sometimes things that are contentious. Oh, are you talking to Eddie? Hopefully you're
I
talking
think
to
it's
Eddie,
talking
not
to me.
me.
I think, yeah. I don't think that was to you. I think it was to me.
About one of the others. 1980. So the answer here was typewriters.
Oh, I was going to say that, but I was like, oh, you said competitor, so I thought Windows. Oh, I still get that. You tricked me. I'm going to take that.
They decided if they were going to have a building with no windows at all, anywhere, that would be a really horrible place to work, surely.
I meant Windows computers.
Of course.
You weren't clear about like what kind of Windows. Oh, Mike says no. I was talking to Andrew. Okay.
Yeah, Mike was
Tesla. Okay.
I'm sure there is a degree of contention, but when I looked it up, it seemed to be pointing everything was at Tesla. So, but yeah, there are certainly I can accept in any quiz. There are certain times when you think actually I believe that this is correct. So, I will just take the quizmaster is always right on that situation. No, Windows didn't exist in 1980. You're right. If we had that question somewhere else,
that is true.
So the answer to the next question, the 1921 Nobel Prize was given out in 1922.
Wait a second. That's a trick question because if the winner of 1921, I thought it was given out in 1921, so I assumed it was the year before.
it's 1921. How could you give out a prize for 21 if you haven't got to the end of it?
But it doesn't say give out. Name the winner or
The-
of the 1921 Nobel Prize. It's a trick question. I got this one right. I'm taking 22. I just think it's badly worded, very confusing.
Perfect. Sort of question I like. The spacewalk. God, I hope I got this right. It was 12 minutes. Obviously, I guess tells
Yes!
you what.
Didn't cheat on this one either.
So, 12 minutes. Space program. No, it was not Apollo. Apollo was a couple down the line. The first one was actually Diana. A again.
Okay. Thanks, Mike. We should stick together, .NET, JavaScript, buds forever. Is that a fist? Yeah. Cool. There we go.
Windows. The first version of Windows was 85. 85. Okay, we'll find out if I get 10 or not. But I'm pretty sure it's 85. Wayne sold his shares for $800. So big.
Yes! What a guess. Oh, he must kick himself, right? It's $800.
Oh yeah, I think someone said if he had kept his share, I don't know, like 2010 or 12 or something, shortly after the iPhone and the iPad and all the rest, it would have been worth tens of millions.
Wow.
Yeah, gutted, I'm sure. Next, last one in this round. The answer was NM Electronics. So they did both use their names. So there is a little bit of a clue in their names, Robert Noyce and Gordon Moore. But it was Noyce and Moore Electronics, NM. Windows came out the same year the Mac was launched. Did it? Okay. End round. Let's check I got that correct for everyone. Good. 10.
5. Yes. I did cheat a little bit, but it was worth it because I didn't agree with the answers.
Okay. Obviously, in your head, if you're convinced you were right, you can give yourself in your head an extra point. But what's on here are the only ones that matter to me. Cool. Eddie, do you want to take us through your round?
Let's do it. We'll go through it fast. Got 2 minutes to go. RxJS is a library for taking over the world. No. Asynchronous event-based programming using observable sequences. Boom. What is the main design pattern behind Rx? It's of the observer, not the frequent flyer, as most of you might think. Superpowers Rx is produces values using pure functions. Which of these are not Rx operators? Bouncy. Hot observable are things. Oh, really? Hot observables? I suppose they are actually. Okay. What's Rx used for? That's a great question, Mike. I'll let Andrew answer that because he attended our combined live stream. It's more, event-driven programming.
Yeah.
Probably the best way
to
explain it.
Casting of stuff is quite nice. I think that's answer later.
Yes, it is. No, it's false. It can be used on front end and back end. I use it on server side as well as client side. It's really awesome. You can turn anything into like an event, and then you can listen to that event, listen to changes. You could have it published to various listeners. A bit like Signal R. I think Signal R is more like just about the publish and subscribe. Is my very limited understanding of it. It's more like the publish and subscribe sort of side. So yes, it does do that, but it can do more than that, than just the pub sub stuff.
I'm guessing the R in Signal R stands for reactive. I don't know. What does it stand for? I've never looked it up. But again, I've not had much exposure to Signal R. So for me, it's about events, right? Signal R is all about events, but more like sort of WebSocket type events.
Yeah, it's my understanding. So I know now Signal R it came from .NET, but it isn't just for .NET. Azure has it, I think, for all languages can use that now. And
to
what's
React,
this
there
link
isn't.
to
No,
React? There isn't a link to React. That question was just a bit of a confusing one. Any project, React or Angular, can use, or Vue can use RX JS
yeah, so
in that world.
library, yeah, so you can just plug it into everything. But as one of the questions again asked in a minute,
Yeah,
Angular does promote it out of the box. You have it there by default. It'd be rather painful to remove it from Angular. I don't know if it's even possible, really. It's quite
yeah,
baked into the core.
it is. Isn't that more like Socket.io? Yes, yeah, you're right. Signal R is more like Socket.io. That's probably a better
Yeah, that's my
example.
understanding, but I don't want to make a strong comment about that because there's probably more you can do with Signal R that I'm aware of. But
Hey, don't try
yeah,
and be
from my
nice to the .NET people now. It's the end.
if someone wants to correct us, they can. But yeah, my limited knowledge, I understand it to be like WebSockets.
Another superpower of RX are subjects, and they allow multicasting, as Andrew said earlier. So you can have multiple things subscribe, a bit like with WebSockets. Multiple users can subscribe or signal with Signal R, and then you just publish the event once rather than say, I don't know, 5 things checking in. Has the data changed or whatever? When data changes, it just sends it once. Really lightweight for the server, and anything listening will just listen. You can use any sources of events. Yeah, mouse movements work as well. Clicks, it can be anything. And this is the one out of the box. It's Angular. Andrew already answered that one. Hopefully I get 10 out of 10 on this one. What's the maximum number of operators allowed? It's infinite, or it really should be as much as the memory has on the computer. Which is not a valid error handling operator. It was 3, so I was really interested to know why someone said 3, and it's so 3 are real, and it's not. So retry now. I think it's retry now. Oh my god, I'm forgetting. No, I'm pretty sure it is. Wasn't isn't a real one. When you create on a 3 was for this one actually, wasn't it? When you create a custom operator, what was the required function? Yes, there was 3 of them. It was next, complete, and error. Run, I made up. But now someone is going to say that run exists in C# or something, aren't you? I don't know. You're muted, Andrew, by the way. Andrew, I can see your mouth moving, but I can't hear you. Oh, I guess maybe he's not talking to me. So, end round. If I get 10 out of 10, I did. So I gave you the right answers. That's pretty cool. No, same 3 in C#. Okay, nice. Cool. Everyone did pretty well. Pretty good. Okay, it's gone 10:30. Past my bedtime. I know Mike only woke up like just before this quiz started. But yeah, it's my bedtime, and Andrew's already done a runner. Oh no, he's back now, and he's still muted.
So there was a screwdriver. I had to go and pass a screwdriver out.
Fair enough. No worries. We've just finished. These are the scores. No one's chained apart from mine.
Yeah, I can't believe you beat me.
And I've actually got a 9. I've been like, uh-oh. Hey, thank you all for joining. It was awesome to have you here. And if you want to submit questions, either a whole round on a particular subject like C#, excuse me, or .NET, or if you want to submit just for general round questions, you have 2 or 3 questions you want to submit, let us know.
Sorry, Mike. I didn't get round to. I was working on it. It is the current thing I am doing is getting a end of quiz total. I feel really bad that we still haven't got that but yeah, I want to get the auto saving because that seemed to be the biggest wind up last week was no auto saving. So I'm glad that worked. Obviously, we don't want to test too many things at once, do we? So.
And I'm helping Andrew by staying out of his way and not breaking things.
You've made a few features you're going to add this week. You're going to say that if you got the same score, you're going to give everyone the same number, right? You're going to get that sorted this week for us.
I think so. Or we add time, like you said. There was if the Andrew and Lee got 9, who answered them in the quickest time will go first, maybe, or something like that. Like maybe have a total time spent per question or something. I don't know. We'll see.
I'm glad everyone liked the autosave. It was worth the time.
Yeah, that was
a bit
good.
of a came together.
I think you should see everyone has answered the question. Yeah, it would be really good to know that. I think there is a feature for that to know who has answered, so we can see like 80% have answered, and we can give people a prompt. Say, come on, we're going to move on, answer your question, and then they have a countdown of 10 seconds before moving to the next question because of the delay on YouTube.
Yeah, that's what that insights coming soon statement is at the bottom there. Was supposed to us to know that one of the problem parts we've got there is what happens if someone decide or several people disappear. But I guess you can say, so long as 80% have answered, that's good enough, right?
Exactly. Or we could have an event every time they move their mouse. We get an event and we know they're still there. That's a joke. Okay, awesome. Everyone, have a great weekend. It was had a great time. E.g., a picture of Jeff Bezos in the front of Amazon wall. Which companies is supposed to see? That was a good question. I was starting off easy last week. Are you going to commission an Azure data warehouse insights? Yeah, it'd be good to have an idea of how many people have answered, and then we can kind of move on. Absolutely. Andrew's got all weekend and all next week. Don't worry, he'll work harder. Okay, that's gonna hurt me later, I'm sure.
I'm on mute and I've got kids trying to break in for bedtime, so I'm gonna have to go, I think. But no, hopefully that was good. Everyone enjoyed the questions. Yeah, it's always fun to see what Eddie and I come up with. Get the serious side from me and the fun side from Eddie, where everyone gets 10 out of 10.
Exactly. Have a great week, everyone. Have a great weekend, and we will catch you all soon.
Yeah. Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
See you next week. Maybe sooner if people catch us.
I've got a holding page somewhere.